get ready with me plus story time. Let's go. So, I was out the other day with my friends and we were selling bookmarks, just like normal. And we got a few sales and she was wondering, this girl who was buying one of my bookmarks was wondering why I was selling them. I said, oh, we're just selling them to make some money because we're trying to get like a little job, like a little Saturday job, like, you know what I mean, like, try and get some money. Then she said, oh, in that case I don't want one then. And I was like, huh? And so she said, oh, if you're raising them just to get money, then I don't want one because you teenagers don't deserve money. And I was like, I'm 11 and I'm technically 11 and a half. Technically 11 years old and 57 days. Yeah. And anyway, she said, well, still, you don't deserve money because you're going on the street selling stuff. And I was like, I don't always do it, and I'm sorry, but why are you expecting... Sorry guys, I've also lost my skincare headband. But I was like, if you seriously want me to get a life, then I suggest you don't talk to me because I have a dog and I can shop, find out where you live, and I can get him on you. And that's what I said because I do have a dog. He's a German Shepherd /Akita. His name is Nadu. And I was like, I'll just get my dog on you. And then she said, well, you can't do that. I'm a lovely old woman, you know. I was like, lovely old woman? You've just come up to us threatening to, like... Oh, by the way, she also threatened us that she was going to go tell my parents. I was like, my parents already know me, so I don't know what you expect us to do about it. Hang on, let's get my scrunch off. So I said, I don't know what you expect them to do about it because they already know. And then she said, I'll tell them that you've been smoking then. I was like, we haven't even been smoking. And she said, this was my friend who said this, we haven't even been smoking, mate. And then I said, come on, Brooke, let's just go to the park. And this was like some... Sorry guys, I got shampoo in my face there. But anyway, she literally had the nerve to say, oh, well, you can't go to the park, I've banned you. And I was like, I'm sorry, but you can't banish us from going to the park unless you're the council or the police. And she said, no, well, I have banned you from the park. And I was like, sorry, but you can't. And she said, well, I can because I did. And I was like, stop lying to us. Because my friend had already run to the park. Then, when we got to the park, we phoned my dad had said, oh, girls, you've done the right thing and stuff like that. And he came and picked us up. And I was very happy. So yeah, that is why you should never go to the park alone. Well, alone with your friend and sell bookmarks. Bad thing. So yeah, that's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me while out before. So yeah, and I was like, by the way, I'm getting ready for bed and it is a scorcher out tonight in the UK. Like, let me show you. The window is literally up. It's like a scorcher outside. Well, I'm very happy. But I'm also like kind of confused on why she did that. But I think she was just one of those attention-seeking Karens. But anybody who went by didn't stop, which I was grateful for, because I did not want to make a scene. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you even want to make a scene out of a Karen being like a bitch? And I was like, well, you're being a bitch, so no. I don't want to go home with you if you're being a bitch. Because she literally invited me to her home after, and I was like, I'm sorry, love. Because she literally followed us to the park, guys. And me and my friend were just on the park on the swings after all that had happened. We were like, oh, thank God we've lost her and stuff. Then she comes through the gate with a little chihuahua, and I'm like, oh God, here we go again. And there were like 8-year-old kids in the park with us. Well, around the park, not with us. And I was like, you can't just follow us here. And then she said, oh well, I can do what I want because I'll ban you from this park and I'm going to call the police if you don't move. And I'm like, surely if you banned us, then there would be some sort of sign. And she said, well, there is a sign. It's on your head, love. And then I was like, you have some nerve. Then she said, oh yeah, love, I know I do, because I've got nerve to kick you out this park, and you were the first ever guy I've ever had to kick out this park. And that was Springfield Park, so we ended up just going to Benton Quarry Park after. But overall, the experience was quite traumatising. It was actually low-key traumatising. I was like actually traumatised. And my friend asked me why I was so scared the other day. I said, because who knows what that girl could, well, the woman, she was about in her 60s or 70s. Like, she had one of these little walking frame things. So I was like, the least she can do is like hit us or try to, because we were on our BMX bikes. Well, she was. My friend was on her BMX bike. I was just on my mountain bike, and we were just like riding. So, if the comments stay on this video, then who do you think was in the right or wrong? Do you think I was in the right or the Karen was in the right? And do you think we did the right thing or do you think we didn't? Bye!